Thank you for joining me. This is lesson 34 of our daily Sefer HaMitzvos study. And we're finishing up today with what we've been talking about, positive mitzvah number 19. This is going to be the last time we talk about the blessings after meals. And then we're going to actually be starting a new mitzvah, which we'll talk about for the next couple days. Um, so positive mitzvah number 19, the obligation to say blessings after meals, to thank God for satisfying us, for giving us the food that we need, and also for the land, is the mitzvah. And what I wanted to talk about is kind of relating back to what we talked about yesterday, how Abraham Avinu would welcome guests into his home, and show them hospitality. He would give them nourishment, the food and the drink that they needed. He would give them a place to stay, and then rather than asking for anything in return, he merely asked that his guests choose the option of thanking God from whose bounty they had partaken. And um, I wanted to kind of think about that in kind of a little bit of a Hasidic bent here. Um, Imagine that um, we ourselves are that guest, or our flesh or our animal nature is that guest. Our body wants to eat. It wants to sleep. It wants to do all kinds of things that aren't necessarily bad, but they're in service of the animal itself. And um, and so, eating, we can eat, and it can be a totally material thing. Or we can eat and we can make it a spiritual thing. That's what our job is as people who serve Hashem. Where our part of our service to God is to take the physical and make it spiritual. Um, god god took the spiritual and made it physical, and we return it the other way. Um, so what we do, the one of the ways that we serve Hashem with our physical nature here is to bridle the animal. That we put a bit in its mouth, so to speak, and we ride the animal, and we take control of it. So we use the intellect that God gave us, the godly intellect that God gave us, our chokhmah bina da'at, our insight, our discernment, and our knowledge to control the desires of our flesh. And so we do allow ourselves to eat and partake of good things, especially on Shabbat and holidays, where we save the best of the best and the tastiest of dishes, and we throw a big feast, um, and we use it to satisfy ourselves. But if we're doing so in a spiritual way, we're not merely doing it for the delight of eating. We want to harness the energy that this food provides for us, and enable uh, it to be used to do mitzvahs that are our obligations. We need to eat in order to have the energy to do other things. And so when we eat, we take that in. You've all heard of calories. We use these calories to to do mitzvahs throughout the day. And the very first thing that we can do, one of the very first things we can do after eating, is this mitzvah right here, which is to say blessings after our meal. And therefore, we take those things that are physical and we return them to do something spiritual with. And so I think about that animal nature that I have as coming to the table, and Abraham Avinu in that story is like a metaphor for my divine intellect that knows that I need to serve the one God, and that I need to satisfy this traveler, which is my body, and feed, uh, give it drink, and give it lodging, but then uh, tell it, command it to thank the God of whom the bounty we've partaken. And so that's what we do here with the blessings after meals. It is a mitzvah for us to do, and the eating is really the what enables us to do that mitzvah. And in fact, if you come to a table and they're about to, this has happened to me before, come to a table and they've finished eating their meal, there's still bread on the table, and they're about to say the blessings after meals. We should grab that bread. We should wash our hands. We should grab that bread, say hamotzi, and eat the minimum amount, so that we can have the opportunity to join each other in this mitzvah of thanking Hashem. All right, so that was positive mitzvah number 19, and now we move on to positive mitzvah number 215. Positive mitzvah number 215. This is the mitzvah that we're commanded to perform circumcision. And I'll go ahead and read a few verses here. Comes from Genesis 17. It's actually kind of a lengthy passage about the all of the ins and outs of circumcision. But verse 10 says, "This is my covenant which you shall observe between me and between you and between your seed after you, that every male among you be circumcised." So this mitzvah was actually given before the giving of the Torah, that all the descendants of Abraham would be circumcised. And so then it goes on, it says, "And you shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and it shall be a sign of a covenant between me and between you." So there's a individual component to this, where each person is obligated regarding their own circumcision. Of course, Abraham being spoken to here. And then it says, "And at the age of 8 days, every male shall be circumcised to you throughout your generations. One that is born in the house, one that's purchased with money from any foreigner who is not of your seed." So this, of course, this was in a time where not every member of your household was a relative, and some were servants, etc. And they would also, as well, they were born into your home, would need to be circumcised. So there's the obligation of a father to circumcise their son, and however, if the father failed to do so, the son now has the obligation, that before the day that they leave this world, that they need to have done the mitzvah of circumcising themselves. None of us know the day that we leave. So if you're a Jewish guy, and you still need to do this mitzvah, that's one to talk to your local rabbi about. They will help you. If you're a Jewish man, they will help you and make sure that that mitzvah gets done. All right. Thank you so much for joining me today. We'll finish up talking about the mitzvah of circumcision and start a new section, which is going to be very interesting. We'll see how that goes tomorrow. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. Have a great day in every way.